Hey there, everybody. I am a few minutes late, but I'm still here and looking forward to hanging out with you tonight a little bit on day 4 of the 12 days of Gen Hacks. And hope you've been enjoying this little tiny brainstorm I had. I definitely didn't plan on doing something like this close to the holidays, but it actually turned out to be just a real fun gift for me, and I hope that everybody's enjoyed it so far. And I plan to continue until I think I said the 22nd, and we'll look forward to that. I'll keep you posted on when and where and how. It'll be the same time and same place here on Facebook. So anyway, we're on day 4 here tonight, and it's December 14th, 2018. And I'm going to talk about something that's pretty tough. It's actually going to be a little bit of a mishmash of some of the things that we've gathered over the years from just the whole parenting gig. And a lot of times when you have a larger than normal family, you do get the feedback from others. It can go different ways. It can be, oh, you must have it all figured out, or it can go the other way to, you're crazy and there's no way you can do that. So it kind of fluctuates between those two things. But in general, there's been so many valuable lessons that have happened for us when it has come to being mom and dad. And of course, I'm speaking pretty directly to the mom side, but I think it applies across the board. And so tonight, the little quick Gen hack is going to boil down to one special thing that I'll get to at the end, okay? So I'll talk about that at the very end, but to start out with the title there, you see, parenting stinks sometimes. You can put any kind of adjective there. You can put parenting hurts sometimes. You can put parenting is amazing sometimes. You can say parenting is the literally most difficult thing I've ever done sometimes thing. I didn't grammatically nail that, but just fill in the blank, okay? And I majored on parenting can stink sometimes simply because I want to be real and I want to be as honest as I possibly can be on social media. The truth is everyone knows that story. I think it may be Joyce Meyer that tells this story, so I'm stealing it from her a little bit, but how you can just have all the words that you need to have with your kids that are, reproving them or correcting them or, not happy with how the day's going kind of thing. And then the phone rings or the doorbell rings and the Kirby salesman is there and you go, hello, and that's funny and it's kind of terribly sad, but it's also true. It's reality. And oh my, after 23 years, I can say I've had my ups and I've had my downs and I've had good and bad and ugly moments. And that's very, very tough part of parenting. That's why parenting can stink sometimes. Another reason that this is kind of getting down to the nitty gritty is as I have parented over the years, different children, and in my case, I've said this often, God must have thought I needed a lot of extra practice. I don't know, because I have a lot of practicing going on. You have to look in the mirror. You're not going to, in most cases for our regular day jobs, you're not going to a board meeting or, some kind of corporate area and you're, earning points or earning plaques or, recognition and props. When you're parenting, nobody is really there. I hope that I can be that person actually to tell you, keep it up, you can do it. But you're not experiencing a lot of, hey, you know what, you've got this. Hey, you know what, this stinks, but you can do it. Hey, yeah, I know this terrible thing happened. I know it's worse than you can ever imagine. Or, hey, I know this really great thing happened and you're not even really sure how to handle that. There's not really someone there to say, hey, you know what? You've got this. Yeah, it can be really super hard and it can stink, but you've got this. You can do it. You were given these children by God, and you can do it. And you can be that person who can see, you know what? I didn't do this right, and I didn't do this right, and I did do this right. And God, please cover the gaps for me that I missed. And that is what happens when you're parenting. You know, you'll have a child that you suddenly look at and go, wow, how did you become the way you are? And then you have to look in the mirror that night and go, oh, that's the reason you became who you were, or how you are, or do the things you do, or say the things you say. You look in the mirror as a mom and dad and go, well, it's because of me. And owning that is so hard. It is so hard. Oh, hey, Pamela, and hey, Natalie. Oh, my goodness. Thank you for saying that. I needed you to say that tonight. You have no idea. Why is so-and-so child saying or doing this? Why are they having a tough time with this? And then you go to bed and wash your face. Well, sometimes I haven't washed my face. I'm terrible about that. But you go to the bedroom, you take your clothes off, put your nightgown on, and put your pajamas on, and you look in the mirror, and guess what? There's your answer. It's you. Oh, and it's just a knife in your chest. It's you. It's me. That's why parenting, ultimately, even when it stinks, is the most wonderful thing we could ever do, because, guys, it's as real as it gets. You don't get that working for Apple, and you don't get that working for the grocery store. You don't get that anywhere you go doing what you do. You get that being a parent. Yes, when it stinks, it still is the best thing you've ever got to do, because it will bring you to your knees. If you've never learned to pray, you don't even believe in prayer, let's say, okay, just be a parent. Yeah, you're going to learn to pray, all right? You're going to learn to pray. And if it doesn't happen when you have a 2-year-old potty training, or if it doesn't happen when you have a 6-year-old who won't stay by your side at the grocery store, or you don't think it works by the time you have a 16-year-old and they've gotten into a vehicle, oh yeah, you're going to learn how to pray. You're going to believe in prayer, okay? You're going to get a spiritual life really, really fast, because you slowly come to the place. A, you recognize they won't be perfect. And B, you recognize you haven't been perfect. C, you recognize there's no way for them or you to ever be perfect. But do you love? Do you care? Are you going to stand in the gap for each other? Are you going to be honest? Are you going to be intimate? Are you going to be gut level? And you're going to take the knocks and learn and go on. I didn't plan on going on that part, but anyway, the parenting stinks sometimes. Back to that statement. Sometimes you can feel like a hero, or you can feel like a zero. Hero or zero. It can be any one of them, either one of them, either one of them, every day, even both in one day. Okay? Well, here's my little Gen hack for that. Okay, and I'm trying to stick to that ultimate idea. Gen hack is basically something that's happened to me and something I can give you in just a pretty short amount of time. Okay, I had a woman I was around when I was just a new mama with Hannah. Okay, so I would have been 23 years old. And I was nursing her in the church cry room, okay? So going back to that time, just flat out, I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? I'm excited. I'm in love with this little baby, but I really don't know what I'm doing. By the way, if you're wondering, these are not sunglasses. They're reading glasses. We'll see if I need them. I am really excited about this little baby we've been given, and she's beautiful and precious. And I'm just sitting there enjoying nursing her. My husband is involved in the church service. Well, a woman comes in, and it's so weird. You know, I've never seen this woman since. That was almost 23 years ago. Strange, but she came in that little cry room, and I didn't even get her name. I should have got her name. I've mentioned the story probably 100 times now since then, but She had a little 2-year-old boy with her, and that little 2-year-old boy was running her ragged. Sometimes I say this too. He was tying her up on the chandelier. It was terrible. And I'm new mom. I'm nursing my baby. I'm thinking, okay, so can you not run into me? I've got a little tiny baby here. I mean, it was awful. He was climbing on the chairs. He climbed over this changing table. I believe he ran around the back of my head on the couch, at the top of the couch. Okay, so this is the kicker about that story. Guess what she was saying that whole time? She was saying, "You're so bad. You're so bad. You're so bad." And again, I don't know anything, but I knew enough to know I had a moment from God when that happened. I knew enough to know something's not right about this. Now, I didn't know enough to say anything to her, nor would I've ever dared, because I wouldn't have wanted to correct anybody. But in here, in my heart, I thought, oh my gosh, that's not good. That's not good. I've got to remember this. Okay? What was he doing? Yes, it was very uncomfortable. But the lesson for me that I've never forgotten, I have never forgotten that moment. The lesson for me was that he was doing exactly what she said. And so I clicked up here and thought, well, wow, why don't we say something different? Why don't I say something different? I don't know if I can. I'm sorry for that little boy. I can't do anything for him, but I'm going to say something different. And that just burned in my brain that day, over 23 years ago. Okay, so fast forward, 23 years ago, and I have Hannah, Nathaniel, Micah, Caleb, Esther, Benjamin, Phoebe, Abigail, Elizabeth, Susanna, Ezra, Rowan, and Galilee. Guess what? I've said some not positive words in 23 years. I can remember some of them, and they can remember some of them, and we can both remember and forget probably half of what we think we remember. You know how selective memory goes. But for the most part, I know that my heart and my effort and my commitment, that's it. My commitment has been positive words. I love you. You're amazing. I believe in you. You can do it. I'm so glad you're here. That's one of the favorite things that I say when they're going to bed, when they're about to go to bed. Now, let's be real too. Moms, I'm going to especially talk to you. Sometimes when it's bedtime, I'm done. Okay. Maybe you're like me. I'm not really a cushy, comforty, touchy mom at night. I mean, I hug and kiss everybody, but I'm more of a truth mom. Okay. There's grace moms and truth moms. I'm more of a, okay, it's time for bed. Love you. Good night. Okay. And let's go. And other moms like, oh, let's read a story again. And oh, let's sing a song again. And no, I'm not that great at that. I'm better than I was. But one thing I love to say to them is, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad God sent you here. I am so happy I get to be your mama. And just in the beautiful design that God has for us on this planet, those positive words, this is my Gen hack, guys and girls, those positive words get fruit, okay? Those positive words plant things, and those things grow, okay? And they give you things to tend and cultivate and water. They give you things to tend. And well, the tending part, you think, wow, what did I do to deserve this? Well, maybe it's your positive words. We tend to think, oh, I totally screwed up, moms especially again. But wait a second. We're tending the positive words, okay? Even if there's the negative, I know there's a negative too, do what the farmers do. Go rip them up. Go take your hoe and hypothetically, okay, go take your hoe and say, in Jesus' name, I'm not going to have the fruit off this negative phrase I just said. I'm not going to have the fruit off this negative stuff that happened 5 years ago or 2 years ago or 2 days ago. Rip those bad ones out. And you know what? Practically speaking, maybe that's hard to do, okay? But spiritually speaking, guys, we have hope. We have strength. We have a spiritual power from the God we believe in, okay? That yes, we can rip the negative out, pray that God will cover our gaps, and love, 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 love. And this is a part of my Gen Hack. Say, I was wrong. I was wrong. Forgive me. That's the two phrases I try to teach the kids when something happens, when people do wrong, when humans act human. You know, kids are big people in little people bodies, okay? They came here in a little people body. Why God did it that way, I have no idea. But our babies are big people in little people bodies, and they just slowly gain the body for that big person, okay? Look at that person and say, I was wrong, forgive me. Okay? Once that happens, you've done something, you've declared something in front of God and everybody and the angels and heaven and whoever else. Okay? You know what? I missed it there. God, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me watch for this thing the next time. Thank you for helping me understand what a trigger might be that is provoking me to respond this way, and get back to the positive words. Okay? I encourage all of you to watch a movie called Cinderella Man. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's an amazing movie. It stars, I've done lots of live videos, and lots of times I'll start to say something and woo, it goes out. Russell Crowe, that's him. It's based on a true story. It's an amazing movie. Based on the life of James Braddock. He was an actual heavyweight boxer in the United States. It's a beautiful story. You should go check that out. Russell Crowe does an amazing job, but there's a part in that movie where he's just gone through the depression. He's lost his job. He's trying to get his children back. They had to go stay with a relative. He's in the depths of despair. He started winning a few fights. Once he got to the spot that he was going to be considered for bigger fights and obviously make more money, he was in a news conference and they started questioning him. His wife's sitting there with him. And they said, James, what motivates you? How did you get to this spot? How did you do this? You know, what are you thinking up here when you're about to knock someone out? And he just looked at him and he said, milk. And of course, you know, media, I'm sure it wasn't much different back then. Oh, haha, you know, what does that mean? Milk, what is that about? And he goes, no, I'm serious, milk. And it was quiet. And he said, I'm boxing for milk because my kids are never going to have to see an empty milk bottle again. He had gone through the time where he could literally not feed his kids. Okay? All that said, you see that drive and that momentum and that, I want this thing. Having positive words as a mom and a dad, you got to have that about it. It has to be something you're like the Eye of the Tiger song, okay? Or Rocky. I'm sorry, I mentioned 2 boxing things in a row. My husband loves boxing. That's why that came out. Because you know what, guys? We're going to screw it up. I mean, we're going to miss it. We're going to get knocked out. But are we going to stay down? Are we going to get back up? I think we talked about that a few nights ago. This is day 4 of the Gen Hacks, and I can't remember which night I mentioned that. But and you know what? That stinks. Back to the main title. It stinks sometimes. It hurts. It's terrible. But we can't give up. We can't quit. We gotta be boxing for milk. We gotta decide what our milk is. What is our milk? You know what? My milk, me, Jen, my milk is I want a relationship with my children forever. I want a connection with them forever. I want to love them and receive their love forever. I know I won't approve always. I know they won't approve always. I know both of us are going to get knocked out. We're going to get knocked out. We're going to lose sometimes, but I want to get back up. And I want to believe, no matter what, one of my favorite phrases, and I'm sorry, it's kind of frank, but come hell or high water, I am getting back up, and I am refusing the fruit of that negative stuff that came out of my mouth just now. I'm refusing the fruit of that negative idea or situation or terrible happening, whatever it was. In Jesus' name, I'm going for the positive. And I'm going to plant as much positive as I can possibly plant. I'm going to get a ginormous, not a word maybe, ginormous garden of the good. I am praying and believing and trusting I'm going to get the good. I'm going to get the fruit of the good. And I'm going to stand on that no matter what happens. I'm never going to give up. I'm boxing for milk. That is my milk. You guys go watch that movie. You'll love it. Even if you already saw it, you gotta do a repeat. Okay? It is life and death. It's so important. What we talked about 2 nights ago. We get to the sunset of this life. We don't get to be here forever. You know what? That's all we're going to care about. And in the words of a friend that I had that's on the sunset side of their life, you know what? When you get to that part of your life, that season is drawing to a close, you don't remember any of the bad stuff. You remember the good stuff. You remember the parts that were good. And that is what I'm praying for. That is what I'm hoping for. I think I am almost at 15 minutes, and I'm so sorry if I went over, and forgive me for being a bit late. That's my Jen hack for tonight. The words that come out of your mouth, make them positive. You know how Thumper says on Bambi, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. That's the first step. The second step is say something good. That's the Jen hack for tonight, okay? I hope this has spoken to you, because you know what? I'm speaking to myself. I'm looking in my mirror and I'm saying this to myself, okay? I want to send you love and hugs, and thank you for coming on tonight. I hope you have an amazing rest of your night. I will be here tomorrow night, same time, same place, 9:30 on Facebook, and we'll be at day 5 of the 12 days of Jen Hacks. I hope to see you there. If you just hopped on, rewind and go watch. Good words. Love and hugs, guys. Bye-bye.